Hey guys, I wanted to make this quick video to give you a checklist that you can follow when trying to address gut health. I don't know what this camera is, but um, I think this is going to help you guys a lot. Restoring gut health is an easy way to start getting your waist down and getting your abs dialed in. It's easy in that it doesn't take a lot to see results, and the results that you do see will create a ripple effect with how you look, how you feel, and how you function. So the first thing I want you to consider is gut bacteria. If you have a dysfunctional ecosystem in your gut, it's going to be really tough to get your midsection and core dialed in to the best of your ability. So making sure that you're healthy in there is important. Now, the easiest way to deal with that is to make sure you're getting in good prebiotics, which feeds the healthy bacteria, which are probiotics. Without adding in a bunch of supplementation, if you can get those from natural foods, so much the better. Greek yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, foods that are rich in fiber, those can start to pull you in the right direction. Now, sometimes this can also get a bit confusing because depending on the severity of gut dysbiosis, sometimes fiber can actually make it worse. So just know that there's layers of complexity to dealing with gut health, but I'm just trying to give you some hard and fast touch points to help you troubleshoot things from a holistic perspective. Like I mentioned, we try to surround the dragon and make sure we're addressing all potential obstacles to getting the waist dialed in, and gut health and restoring healthy gut bacteria is one of them. Next thing is leaky gut. Leaky gut is essentially when the lining of your intestines becomes leaky, meaning that it allows undigested food to pass through the barrier, and that will cause a multitude of problems, one of them being immune responses, inflammation, high cortisol, which then messes around with your blood sugar and causes you to store belly fat. So leaky gut has to be addressed. On average, the most common culprits for leaky gut is alcohol consumption and medical drugs. I would even, at this point, I would even add in coffee on an empty stomach, because coffee is very acidic. So if the first thing in the morning, if you're drinking coffee first thing in the morning on a uncoated stomach, that can be something that can easily cause leaky gut. And then the other part of coffee is that not only is it caustic to the intestinal lining, the fact that it's a stimulant that will then also cause leaky gut. So you get a double whammy. The point is, if you're going to drink coffee, make sure you eat first, just to make sure you're blunting that, or eat with. But empty stomach on the way most people drink coffee, that's going to cause negative effects over time. Other things you can use to help leaky gut are supplements like L-glutamine, anything that any of the anti-inflammatory supplements like turmeric and boswellia and proteolytic enzymes as well. So all of those are going to be fair game with trying to get your gut health sorted out. But again, we will get into more details within the school, but I'm giving you some checkpoints. So we got gut biome, 2, leaky gut. Number 3 is constipation. or a lack of intestinal movement or motility. Now, constipation can also get tricky because I like to branch constipation into two branches. One being the mechanical component, meaning that you got stuff in there, and then there's the electrical component or neurological component, meaning that there is a lack of pumping of the intestinal tract or the colon to push that stuff out of there. Depending on the person, they can have a predominance of one or the other, but you have to address both. Again, the lowest hanging fruit with constipation is making sure you're hydrated. If you're dehydrated, the body will pull water out of the colon to meet the other demands of the body. So essentially, you turn your body into a septic tank when you're dehydrated. So hydration is number one. Second of all, again, this goes back to stimulants. If you're taking in a bunch of stimulants, that will lock up your ability to effectively pump waste out of the body. Anything that winds the system up is going to keep you sympathetic dominant. Like I find in rare cases, I would say 3 out of 10 cases, the cause of constipation is a lack of fiber. But I think more the culprit is dehydration and stimulants. If you're taking in, enough fruits and vegetables, which obviously most people aren't, but that could help. That's an easy fix. But again, hydration and fiber is key. I'll give you guys suggestions because there's a bunch of different ones out there that work very well. Trying to think of one it's a prebiotic fiber. I've been taking Juice Plus for 22 years now. That's something that I use on a constant basis. I mean, I don't use it for fiber, but it has prebiotics and fiber in it. And before we had clinical research, one of the predominant benefits that people were reporting back to the company was it promoted regularity. So anything with a prebiotic is going to be fair game. Garden of Life is another one. Garden of Life prebiotic fiber is a good one that I've used quite well. You can get that on Amazon. So all those things, fair game. So number 3, constipation. Number 4, food sensitivities. All of the red dyes and preservatives and MSGs, these all trigger immune responses that lead to inflammation and bloating. So for most of you guys, it's more about putting out the fires rather than trying to, find the quick fix. I think if you address the blocking factors that are already in your lifestyle and diet, you'll get amazing results. It's like before you can build a new house, you have to put the fire out. So eliminating a lot of the processed foods and just go clean food. Like whatever you're eating, just try to find a cleaner version of that. That's an easy win. It's not gonna take a lot of willpower. It's not gonna take you out of your normal routine. Because I understand the psychological game here, right? Change is hard for most people, and when most people think of change, it puts them in a paralysis analysis, and change is always painful. So as your guide, my job is to facilitate you making that change without it being perceived as a huge inconvenience. So by making these decisions and just by guiding you to make one small tweak that's going to make a huge difference, like, okay, where are you shopping? What are you buying? What foods are you buying? What's your routine? What do you typically go to lunch? What's the food there? So all these little details matter. And this is how you start to stack wins, and this is how you start to gain momentum in the right direction. So basically, eliminate food sensitivities by eating foods that have less chemicals in them. I wish I could make it more complicated than that, but it essentially isn't. And then number 5, again, is stress overall. Again, stress can be in many forms. If we want to break down stress, there's essentially 6 forms of stress. I think when most people think of stress, they think of some overt psychological event that's occupying their attention, like, job or family or something else. But stress comes in many forms. There's psychological stress or psychic stress, which is what I just mentioned. There's nutritional stress, the stress that you're getting from what you're eating. There is thermal stress, temperature, weather changes. There's electromagnetic stress, these electronic devices and all of that. There is, what did I say? Electromagnetic, thermal, chemical, environmental, physical stress. That can be injuries. And then I'm missing one. Thermal, sorry, it's been a minute. Thermal, electromagnetic, nutritional, chemical, environmental, and psychological. So yeah, so those are 6. So the bottom line is your body doesn't lie. So if you're dealing with gut issues, it's a foregone conclusion that you're probably mitigating one or more of those stress factors. So just to sum it up, going backwards, dealing with one of the 6 forms of stress: food sensitivities, constipation, leaky gut, and gut biome. So those are your 5 things you want to focus on. Post questions about any of these in the comments, and I will address those in subsequent videos. This is how this works, guys. I'm throwing it out, facilitating dialogue. If you need support, advice, tactics, this is why we're here. All right, post in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.